This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, Wanaka's AMP show will be going ahead following the announcement returning COVID alert levels to level 1. A large tapestry work depicting the Otago Daily Times influence on the South has been completed as part of a larger project. And there's a new tennis coach in Dunedin promising to help aspiring players smash the competition. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. The show will go on. The Wanaka AMP show is happening following the announcement of COVID alert levels returning to level 1. All the hard work by the community and vendors will be put to good use.
Dozens of volunteers are pitching in with site preparations for next weekend's A&P show in Wanaka. About 30 food stalls and 500 trade stalls will provide an outdoor shopping experience. But the show is only going ahead because many stall holders and sponsors are prepared to forego a refund if COVID-19 restrictions banning gatherings of more than 100 people continue into next weekend. Last year, the two-day event attracted about 40,000 people, injecting over $11 million into the Upper Clutha economy. And organisers such as terrace farmer Robbie Gibson are understandably nervous.
Oh, there's a lot of preparation, and they come from all over New Zealand, and it'll be devastating if we have to call it off. Yeah.
This year's special VIP guest will be a two-time world motocross champion from Palmerston.
And so we've just had it confirmed that Courtney Duncan, who is world motocross champion, I think she's 2 times over, has confirmed that she's going to come and be one of our VIP guests and our special guest at the show.
Last year's A&P show in Wanaka was one of the last large public gatherings in the South Island before the country went into lockdown. In Wanaka, the South Today.
Following on from that story, at this afternoon's post-cabinet media briefing, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has announced changes to the nation's COVID-19 alert levels. Auckland will move to alert level 2 and the rest of New Zealand will move to level 1 at 6 a.m. on Sunday morning. The Otago Daily Times is taking pride of place in a tapestry being embroidered at Dunedin's Toitu Museum. It's the 25th panel in a tapestry detailing historic events around New Zealand.
Needle workers have been busy at Dunedin's Toitu Settlers Museum making panels for a giant tapestry detailing significant events in New Zealand's history. The latest panel to be finished is about the historic importance of the Otago Daily Times.
People perhaps don't realise, but the newspaper was the internet of the day with political commentary, and it was the way that the community actually communicated. So to actually have a newspaper in New Zealand was quite an achievement, and that's recognised in this panel being one of the 120, which was the press being developed in New Zealand.
This panel is the 25th in the series, and it took hundreds of volunteer hours of 10 ladies to put it together.
It was a challenge for us all, but we do have what we call our work days on a Thursday, and people just, if they felt like doing something, they did. They sat down and did it whenever they were able to do it, whether they were in the mood or not, because sometimes when you go to stitch something it doesn't always go right, so you leave it till the next time and have another try.
And the project is ongoing as the country's history continues to evolve.
I'm not sure that the project will ever be finished. We have the ambition of 120 panels, but history doesn't stop. So there will be significant events in New Zealand's history that should be recorded and added to this.
One of the next panels being worked on is the history of Truby King's Plunket Society. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A scaffolding shortage in Dunedin could be another sign of a red-hot building market, putting pressure on the construction sector. Scaffolding is covering large blocks of buildings in the city centre, meaning that scaffolding is in short supply and some smaller jobs are not getting started. South Coast Scaffolding owner Shannon Barton says last year's lockdown created a backlog of work which then overlapped with new demand. The company United Scaffolding says there is also high demand for scaffolding in Christchurch, Timaru, Invercargill and Queenstown. Tennis coach Jaden Grinter has relocated to Dunedin to set up a new tennis academy. Most of his teaching will be inside an inflatable dome spanning 2 tennis courts at Otago Boys High School.
Jaden Grinter and his partner Ivy McLean have moved down to Dunedin to set up a tennis academy. 27-year-old Grinter grew up playing tennis in Cambridge in the North Island and was ranked as the 71st under-18 player in the world before going on to play professionally in Europe. He's hoping his new academy will give Dunedin players the same experiences he had as a boy.
When I was growing up, I was in one of the best tennis programs in New Zealand, so I'm trying to replicate that and try and see if we can get the same success.
He's also set to become the new coach at Otago Boys High School, helping youngsters to develop good technique and a winning mental attitude.
As the coach, you sort of try and cover every part of the game and just see them grow and develop in every way.
By mid this year, Grinter and his business partner are hoping to have an inflatable dome covering 2 outdoor tennis courts at Otago Boys High School, creating an all-weather indoor environment at a fraction of the cost of a conventional building.
It's a really good opportunity for the players in Otago to be playing on indoor hardcourt, and it gives a lot of opportunity to train during the summer and winter and just to focus on tennis.
Grinter is also planning to represent Otago in upcoming tennis tournaments. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, nationwide tsunami warnings fail to stop people venturing to the beach in Southland, and special COVID-19 legislation allows plans for a retirement village in Wanaka to be fast-tracked. So catch this and more after the break.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Hi, it's Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Our 3 stores have got a deal for you. We're going hard, we're going early, so we've gone hard on the prices, 50% off, a great selection. Shorts, look at all these shorts. T-shirts, they're all half price. Check out all those tees along there. What about all these ones down here? Also at a great saving, 50% off. We're going hard, we're going early. Polo shirts, short sleeve shirts, there's such a variety.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
It's the Alex Campbell Menswear, go hard, go early, summer sale. Don't miss this one.
Ah, TV, our favourite babysitter. But it can be tough keeping up with what our tamariki are watching. Luckily, the Broadcasting Standards Authority has made some smart changes to the classification labels. Ooh! Plus changes to the time of day certain rated shows will air, and awesome new parental lock features, meaning your babysitter's job is safe. Find out more at safeviewing.co.nz.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
More!
Welcome back. Despite nationwide tsunami warnings in place, a handful of people still ventured to a Southland beach this morning. While not included in initial warnings, Southerners were advised in the early morning to stay away from the beach following a series of earthquakes near Gisborne and the Kermadec Islands. There was no need to evacuate, however. The National Emergency Management Agency issued a beach and marine tsunami warning. This meant that there could be a threat of strong currents and unpredictable surges near the shore. The threat was downgraded in the afternoon, but advice remained to keep clear of beaches. While the road to Areti Beach near Invercargill was quiet in the morning, a few people still made the trip, putting themselves potentially in harm's way. Plans for a retirement village in Wanaka are expected to create 700 construction jobs in a project being fast-tracked under special COVID-19 legislation. The Northbrook Wanaka Retirement Village project is to be constructed on a vacant residential section at the northern end of the North Lake subdivision. The project will include a 100-unit retirement village, a private hospital, a clubhouse incorporating a cafe and community centre, and a recreation building with a gym and swimming pool. Environment Minister David Parker said the project would provide jobs during construction in an area significantly affected by reduction in international tourists. Not content with being a trailblazer leading the charge for New Zealand women in motorsport, Dunedin's Emma Gilmore has been selected to drive in an exciting new competition. Listed as a reserve driver, Gilmore is set to juggle this event with this year's New Zealand rally season, which begins next month.
Dunedin rally ace Emma Gilmore has been selected as a reserve driver in a new global motorsport series for electronic vehicles. She says if called up to race, she'll be going into the car cold, with minimal practice driving in a vehicle vastly different to her usual race car.
So the Extreme E Series, I was contacted last year by a couple of teams actually looking for a female driver. Unfortunately the team that I was going to sign with as a number one driver fell over, they didn't have the funding required, so I've been called upon to be a reserve driver for another team, Veloce, which is really exciting. They've been one of the teams that's been really organised right from day one.
Veloce Racing was born from Extreme E's vision of sustainability, aiming to provide focused, content-rich and gender-equal sport, with male and female drivers taking turns completing laps in each event. The team's leadership lineup is spearheaded by Formula One designer Adrian Newsey and Formula E champion and ex-Formula One driver Jean-Eric Vigenet. Gilmore says she feels honoured to be a reserve driver for the team and is remaining ready for action.
Always need to remain match fit. Yeah, it's an unusual series because the cars are basically on the boat being transported to the first round at the moment, and then from that round they'll be on the boat again onto the next round. So there's not a lot of testing or availability to try the cars. So if and when I get the call up, it'll be straight into the hot seat. There won't be any testing at all.
Extreme E is a new motorsport championship which sees electric SUVs going head-to-head in areas of the world which have been damaged by climate change or environmental issues. Gilmore is keen to get amongst it, but says the NZ Rally season is set to begin soon.
So we're all organised, ready to go for the New Zealand Rally Championship with Suzuki and Vantage Windows and Doors, so really excited for that to kick underway because it all got called off a year ago as we were going into COVID, and the Otago Rally didn't go ahead sadly, so pretty excited for the Otago Rally to go ahead on the 17th of April.
The Veloce Esports drivers stable includes many high-profile drivers. This year's inaugural season is set to visit 5 extremely remote and endangered locations on its global voyage. In Dunedin, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, the increase in COVID-19 alert levels sees Dunedin missing out on viewing 400 classic American cars. And we take a look at the weekend's weather for you, so see you after the break.
You're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer. You owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Hi, it's Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Our 3 stores have got a deal for you. We're going hard, we're going early, so we've gone hard on the prices, 50% off, a great selection. Shorts, look at all these shorts. T-shirts, they're all half price. Check out all those tees along there. What about all these ones down here? Also at a great saving, 50% off. We're going hard, we're going early. Polo shirts, short sleeve shirts, there's such a variety.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
It's the Alex Campbell Menswear, go hard, go early, summer sale. Don't miss this one.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Thanks for staying with us. A major car show in Dunedin has been cancelled due to an increase in COVID-19 alert levels. About 400 classic American cars were set to be displayed at Hancock Park on Saturday as part of the annual Great USA Day event. However, this now cannot go ahead due to public gatherings being limited to a maximum of 100 people. The organising committee considered rescheduling the event, but decided it's safer to cancel the show for this year. It is the first time in 23 years the popular event has been cancelled. The Highlanders rugby team are playing their second game of the season tonight. After losing against the Crusaders last week, they're in with a chance to win as they face the Chiefs in Hamilton this evening. Aaron Smith will likely spend the first half of the match on the bench, while Josh Ione moves into the starting lineup. The game is set to kick off at the FMG Stadium Waikato at just after 7 p.m. tonight. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. Organisers say Wanaka's AMP show will be going ahead following the Prime Minister's dropping the COVID alert level to level 1. A large tapestry work depicting the Otago Daily Times influence on the South has been completed as part of a larger project. And there's a new tennis coach in Dunedin promising to help aspiring players smash the competition. And now it's time for a look to see what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Barry Stewart.
Hello, Melissa. How are you?
Good.
Good.
It's Friday. It's always good.
It's Friday, and we are now about to enter a weekend with our alert levels changed. So event organisers will be breathing a sigh of relief about that one. So Auckland down from 3 to 2, and we're from 2 to 1. So that opens up a whole lot of doors. But
sure
I guess
does.
the message there is also, whilst the levels have dropped, we still have to be alert. And of course, a busy day today at the top of the North Island, particularly with the earthquakes off the North Island, bringing various tsunami warnings, and of course we all had to be alert to that as well. So fortunately, they didn't amount to too much. So we've dodged one there. So
Yeah, it was
plenty of
very
action
lucky.
there. Oh, absolutely. Massive earthquakes. So significant strength. So we were fortunate there. In other news, Dunedin City Council is upgrading its civic centre, and that is going to cost about 4.4 million. That's up from what was initially suggested. And an interesting story in the Weekend Mix magazine. It's about the latest twist in the housing market story. More than 17,000 Dunedin households could subdivide or add dwellings to their properties. So if changes to city planning regulations go ahead. So how do you go about that and as a householder, and what are the ins and outs of that? So our feature writer Bruce Monroe has a look at that subject, and it's fascinating reading.
Yeah, because there's quite a few houses that are affected by that.
Well, exactly.
And then it's also infrastructure to support it, because, you know, like they can subdivide, but are they going to have the sewage support and things like that?
Well, I guess if it's in front of an existing dwelling, the structure for that, the infrastructure for that is already there.
But it's changing the Kiwi quarter-acre dream.
Oh,
well
absolutely,
and truly.
absolutely right. But then the push now is for smaller dwellings, and that density of living. So that's the debate. So it'll be interesting. You mentioned the Highlanders versus the Chiefs, so I don't need to say any more about that, other than we'll have full coverage of that in the paper tomorrow, and hopefully that's on the right side of the ledger there. Rugby writer Stephen Hepburn wrote a piece earlier this week about the state of New Zealand rugby, and how a group of people are wondering whether it's hitting the mark. Forward dominated or defence dominated tactics, and there's a lot of people there that are saying we've got it wrong and the game has lost some of its appeal. So we asked our readers to respond to that with their views on the state of New Zealand rugby, and we got a good response to that, so we summarise some of those responses in the paper tomorrow.
Great, so some like real responses from the public. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
exactly. Yeah.
Keep on bringing it in. And you can catch all of that in tomorrow's paper. And now it's time for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with the southern view, it surfaced at Blackhead despite the nationwide tsunami warning following a swarm of earthquakes this morning. Looking at the situation, a broad trough of low pressure is weakening west of New Zealand today and will decay over the South Island tomorrow, with a cooler southwesterly airstream becoming established for the rest of the weekend. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, it's rain, wind and lightning for this area, with 17 degrees in Greymouth and 16 in Westport, so it should make for some exciting skies. Moving to the northeast and top of Te Waipounamu. Plan for cloud, winds and rain here, and 22 degrees in Blenheim and similar in Nelson with 20 degrees. Moving down to Canterbury, expect sun with a few clouds and 21 degrees in Kaikoura and Christchurch, and Ashburton reaches 22 degrees with a bit more wind. Moving to the southern towns, it's variable winds and showers here, with the Catlins on 18 degrees, Balclutha reaches 17, Lumsden and Gore have lighter winds and showers also, and a slightly cooler 16 degrees. Moving to Central Otago, fresh westerlies and showers for most here, with 17 degrees in Wanaka, Queenstown and Alexandra. Te Anau has light winds and showers with a high of 16 degrees. And in the northern towns, it's slightly warmer here, light northerlies and high cloud with 23 degrees in Timaru and slightly cooler in Oamaru with 22 degrees. Heading inland, it's fresh westerlies with a sprinkle of cloud and 18 degrees for both Twizel and Amarama. In Dunedin, cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 11. It's mostly fine tomorrow, sunny in the morning with moderate northwesterlies developing, but high cloud increasing during the afternoon. A mild kind of autumn day, great for mowing your lawns, looking at a high of 22 and a low of 11. And it's cloudy on Sunday with colder southwesterlies becoming fresh to strong. Some rain likely in the afternoon, clearing in the evening. A high of 15 and a low of 8. And in Invercargill, showers tonight with light northerly winds with a low of 11. A period of rain tomorrow morning with fresh, mostly cloudy sort of weather tomorrow with the odd spit of rain at times, but mostly dry. Light winds, colder southerlies will develop tomorrow night with showers, so get your jobs done during the day. A high of 16 and a low of 10. And it's cloudy and cold with showers on Sunday with fresh to strong southwesterlies. A high of 14 and a low of 8. And that's all for our news this Friday and indeed the week. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz or follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.